You'll have to forgive me for exposing not just my shirt sleeves, but my entire shirt. In today's video, I thought I would do something that required me to take my vest and my jacket off. Now, this isn't going to be a long, detailed video, but I thought I would make a part 2 to my number 1 video, which is how to tie a cravat, because I have, if you follow my YouTube channel or my Instagram whatsoever, discovered a new knot that I now use more often than the other knots in my old video, and I thought it might be a good idea to share this knot with you guys. So without further ado, welcome to Old Guy Vibes. Today we are doing How to Tie a Cravat, Part 2. So I took my own advice. As you may remember in the last video, I said if you want to look at fashion plates and photographs and try to replicate what you see, then by all means do so. And well, I decided to do that myself. I looked at fashion plates and I noticed that the sort of knot that they tied their cravats in was a very specific type of knot that was consistent throughout most of the fashion plates. And so I sort of messed around with my cravat and tried to figure out how to replicate this knot for myself. So without further ado, let's get started. So as is the case with tying a cravat in almost any knot, I'm going to start by placing it against the front of the base of your neck and wrapping it around the back. Only this time you're going to want it to be slightly shorter on one end. Once again, you're going to bring it around to the front and you're going to pull it fairly tight. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take the shorter end and sort of just pull it horizontally. So I'm going to make it a bit shorter. So you're going to pull this shorter end horizontally and hold it there, and you're just going to start by pulling the longer end through as if to tie a knot, pull it tight, and then take this longer end and start wrapping it as if it were a sort of barrel knot. You're going to wrap it a couple times. Then you're going to take this shorter end and fold it across. After this, you're going to once again wrap your long end around, and then once you've done that, you take this long end, bring it to the side where the short end was, and bring it through itself underneath the last wrap. Then this last bit might take a little bit of finicking, and it's a bit hard to see myself in this camera, but after a little bit of finicking and messing around, we might end up with something like this. Now, this isn't the best one that I've done, but this is sort of the idea that we're going for. So now, if we put it in context, we get something like this. Now, be aware that my shirt collar is actually a bit loose on my neck. It doesn't fit it properly, so my collar is going to sort of resist against my cravat. It's going to slide up a little bit, but so long as your shirt fits properly, or at least close to properly, you should be fine. This knot took me a while to figure out, and it takes a couple of tries to get it right. Most of the times when you see in my Instagram or on my YouTube channel when it actually looks good, that's because I've tied it and undone it and retied it a couple of times. And now be warned, I don't know how historical this method of tying is. This is just my interpretation of something that I've seen in fashion plates. But I think that this is pretty close. I know when I first posted it, some of you guys were giving me compliments and asking me how I figured it out. So hopefully this is helpful. Anyway, before I leave you guys, I have one last thing that I'd like to say, sort of an announcement. I'm going to be starting, I believe in my next video, I'm going to be starting a new series. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to discontinue the Garment In-Depth series. I'm still going to be making Garment In-Depth videos, but I'm going to be starting a series called the Silhouette series. And in this series, I'm going to be visualizing and describing how the silhouettes of men's clothing have changed decade by decade throughout the Victorian period, and I'm going to have individual videos dedicated to each decade. Originally, I was going to do something more like Karolina Zubrowska did, where she sort of did all the decades into one video. I don't know if I have the skill to do it in one video or the artistic ability to do it in one video. However, I think if I can split it up by the decade, Not only can I go into more detail and more depth per decade, but I can also make it a more approachable goal. Plus, it'll give me much more content. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, share this video so I can reach a broader audience, all that jazz.